Okay, it is week 61 of my weight loss journey, and my current weight is 215.6 pounds. I'll put my weight around here somewhere for you to see that. When I think about what I want to talk to you about this week, I kind of come back to Ernest Hemingway and his idea of one true sentence.
Why do you write when you got nothing to say? Shouldn't you be a stone in the night so cold in the night?
So for me, as far as like the junk food, like it still looks good to me. It's just like I've gotten stronger when it comes to like not really worrying about it. I've just gotten really used to saying no. And I understand that stuff tastes good, but I also understand this other fact now, which is that like this stuff is really bad for me and it'll really hurt me. I just kind of like started taking that more seriously. The fact that like, hey, yes, something can taste good, but also can be really bad for you. Like, for example, like I was helping my grandma with her mouse problem, a couple years ago. And, I brought in an exterminator, and I was talking to the exterminator about the mice. And I was like, well, my grandma's got dogs and she's always leaving this dog food out for the dogs, and I can't get her to pick it up and just like feed the dogs like once a day. She won't do it. She just wants to leave the dog food out for the dogs all the time. And the mice are eating the dog food. They come out and they get the dog food. And the exterminator told me it's not a problem because what happens is they make this mouse poison, like they make it in a laboratory to where it is so much more desirable to the mice than the dog food that they will just ignore the dog food and just go for the mouse poison. It didn't matter how much dog food was left out. It did not matter. So I watched him proceed to put these little green mouse poison cubes in my grandma's basement and in various areas of her house. And he was right. The mice ate that stuff up. They ate that mouse poison up. They loved it. And they just ignored the dog food. And it completely got rid of her mouse problem. And like I thought about that, like, wow, they manufactured that mouse poison in a lab. And they manufactured it in such a way that it was way more desirable than the other food source that the mice already had readily available. The mice had a food source readily available, but it didn't matter. They desired that food source far more, and it was actually poison for them. So I think about that often because I think it's the same thing with junk food, right? I mean, nobody, Twinkies don't exist in the natural world. They were manufactured in a lab. And how was the Twinkie manufactured in a lab? It was manufactured in such a way to make it far, far more desirable than anything that you could get in the natural world. And the same with most of these foods that are just junk foods, like a bag of potato chips. It was manufactured to be far more desirable than anything you could find in the natural world. Just like that mouse poison, it's not that much different. So now, does junk food like kill you like mouse poison? No, it doesn't, okay? But it kind of does over time if you think about it. I mean, it does all these bad things to your body, and you just get worse and worse and worse, man. Years and years and years of eating junk food, all it does is make you fat, gives you problems like diabetes and, God knows what else. And it's just like, I guess it was lost on me a little bit that these foods were manufactured in a lab, and they were manufactured to be highly desirable, far more desirable than anything you could find in the natural world. And if you want to learn more about this, I highly suggest reading, Dr. Fung, Jason Fung's book, The Hunger Code. That book just came out. It is awesome. It's awesome. Now, I've read all three of his books: Hunger Code, Obesity Code, and Diabetes Code, or Diabetic Code, Diabetes Code. I can't remember what it's called, but they're all absolutely fantastic. They're dry. They were written by a doctor. but they're fantastic, you know. But I think that the Hunger Code was the most eye-opening for me. But what I've learned is that it's not simple. It's not simple. Losing weight is not simple. If it was simple, you wouldn't have people losing weight all the time and then gaining it all back within like 2 years. There's nothing simple about it, especially in the world you live in. In the world that we all live in, you got to understand something. I talked about a Twinkie earlier. Well, do you know how much marketing has been done? Do you know how many like millions of ad dollars has been spent to make you think that you love Twinkies? I mean, a Twinkie has gotten a lot more ad money behind it than, you know, broccoli, you know. No one ever spent that much money like trying to get you to think you love carrots or, you know, whatever natural food in the natural world. Nobody did that, man. But a Twinkie, people have spent millions of dollars trying to get you to love Twinkies, okay? So, you know, that it's a rigged game, you know? It's a rigged game in that sense. It is a rigged game, but at the same time, it's not a game you can't win, right? And I can tell you, if you're big, the key is, you know, start getting rid of those carbs and, you know, educate yourself. I highly suggest those Dr. Fung books. You know, I'm biased because, like I said, they really helped me a lot, so I'm biased. But another book that helped me a lot is something I've talked about many times on this channel is Jocko Willink's Discipline Equals Freedom. Like, that book is awesome. That book is awesome. Now, I read the audiobook, okay? I read the audiobook. Jocko Willink, you know, he reads the audiobook himself, and I think it helped. I think it helped. Like, just hearing him, you know, read that book, there's something about it that was helpful to me. Now, maybe you do better with the print book. I love reading print books, but I'm just telling you, if you want to know how I achieved success, how I went from 278 down to 215 over the course of this last year, like, that book was very helpful to me, and I'm just trying to be specific with you. I read the audiobook. So, anyways, I hope that mouse poison story isn't too gross or whatever for you, but I wanted to share it with you just because, you know, I mean, it's the truth, right? If they can engineer mouse poison to be more desirable than a ready food source, imagine it, you guys. Imagine it. Imagine, like, it was dog food. The mice had been eating it for however long they had been in my grandma's house. So we're talking about generations of mice using dog food as their food source. That's what they know to be their food source. The exterminator introduces this lab-engineered mouse poison into their diet, and what do? They go crazy. They love it. They engineer that mouse poison to be far more desirable than the dog food. And he told me it didn't matter what food source they had right now, they're going to want this stuff more, right? So I don't know what they put in that mouse poison to make those mice want it so bad, but they did. And you got to ask yourself, do you trust these food manufacturers to not put stuff in the food, or to not put like this, the perfect mix of fat, sugar, salt in the food, yet combinations of those things that do not exist in nature? But they do it to like trigger like this bliss point in your brain, to make it just more desirable to you than anything that you could find in nature. So like it's being done, without a doubt. It's being done, and it's not doing you any favors. Okay, so anyways, I hope that's helpful to you. It's week 61 for me. It's business as usual. Man, I wish you the best of luck on your journey, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace now.